Hi, I'm Chelsea Hagin. I'm originally from Moravia, New York, so not too far from here, but I'm currently living in Johnson City. My piece, Temporary, is basically about the complicated double-sided coin of my childhood and how, as kids, we don't always see the bad things. The inspiration for this piece came from an old flip phone photo I took while taking a bath about 15 years ago in the house I grew up in. Baths often felt like a luxurious time in my youth. I liked to make the most out of my time when I was in the bath, not only because of having water, but it was also warm and old house, cold. When I would take a bath, I would usually spend a lot of the time writing or sketching until the water got cold. As I was sitting there one time, I became inspired by the image of my feet next to the vice grips. They'd been there for a while and I just never really thought about it. And I just kind of came to the realization of, that's unusual. And they were attached as a temporary fix for a broken handle, but they ended up being there for many years. I grew up in a giant old 1800s house. I've spent a lot of my life romanticizing this house. It's a large inspiration in my life and art. With minimal updates, peeling vintage wallpaper, or waterfall in the back, I thought I had the best home. It had rooms with fancy names like the parlor and the study. My parents basically let me take over the study and fill it with any and all crafting materials. I would spend hours in there digging through the fabric and random things I collected. I was often working on this giant dollhouse that I had made from cardboard boxes. Even then, I preferred an older aesthetic, making the dollhouse take place in the 1800s. I made little people with acorns for heads and dressed them in period clothing. My parents were and are innovative, inventive, and creative. Back then, they were car mechanics with a garage and business they built themselves. I grew up listening to their ideas, all the things they wanted to build, repair, restore, do. I wholeheartedly give them credit for the person I've become, creative, resourceful. I see them in me with the chaotic lifestyle I have chosen for myself. Swerving to go pick up an antique on the side of the road, out of the trash, or going to the library to get books on how to do DIY home electrical wiring, because I can definitely do that. I choose to bite off more than I can chew, just the way they did. My parents wanted to do so much. They worked all the time, tried to participate in all and any school functions. I believe burnout is what ultimately led them to addiction. At 33, looking back, my childhood is becoming a smaller and smaller section of my life. But that portion of my life, living with them as they struggled with addiction, has changed the course of my life for good and bad. I look at my childhood and I'm genuinely thankful because I got the favorite parts of myself from my parents. But the flip side of that is I also got the parts of myself that I struggle with the most. Loving that life and loving them so much made it that much more painful as I witnessed addiction collapse my world around me. I named this piece Temporary because I wish that in the hardest moments of my youth, I could go back and tell myself, this will not be forever. You will get through this, and you will be such a resilient and strong person because of it.